Well, thank you very much. Good morning. It's my pleasure to be back. If you are wondering what this is on the stage, this is a beam, the ceremonial final beam for the pharmacy school. I was supposed to carry it up to the top of the pharmacy school. I thought that Senator Akshar would join me and take the other end of the beam. He has declined. So we have moved the ceremony in here, and this is the symbolic beam. It's a great day to be in the Southern Tier, and let's give a big round of applause to Harvey Stanger for his leadership and his work on the REDC. And Tom Tranter, who's the co-chair of the REDC, has been doing a great job. Let's give him a round of applause. We have our head of economic development, who makes it all happen, Howard Zemsky, head of ESD. Congrats to the county executive-elect, Jason Garner. Congratulations. Look forward to working with you. And to my colleagues, Cliff Crouch, Donald Lepardo, and Fred Akshar, thank you very much for making today possible. It does not happen without the legislature voting for these funds and these programs. So let's give them a round of applause. You know, when you think about the Southern Tier and Broome County, you think about the conversation that you're now going to hear going on a national level. And much of the debate through the past campaign was actually about situations that we have in the Southern Tier and other parts of upstate New York, that this nation had an economic transformation by design, where we came up with a new economic strategy years ago that said we're going to move away from manufacturing, but the nation forgot to come up with a strategy on what was going to replace that manufacturing. And we were going to be high tech, and we were going to be an innovation economy, and get out of the labor production jobs and give it to other countries. Yeah, but what happens to those people in those places that were dedicated to the manufacturing economy? And who is going to work with them to transition into this new innovation economy? It doesn't just happen by osmosis. And upstate New York learned that lesson. Parts of Pennsylvania, a lot of the Northeast learned that lesson when the economy they had ended and there was no one or thing or vehicle to help transition to the new economy. So Johnson Shoes moves out. Who moves in? And how do you get to the innovation economy? New York State government, frankly, for a lot of decades, wasn't present for the upstate economy. They weren't there stepping in to help through that transition. The federal government didn't do it. State of New York, in some ways, we made matters worse because you had upstate New York going through that economic transformation, and then the state government kept raising taxes. So it actually aggravated the situation because not only were they not coming up with a positive solution, increasing the taxes were actually moving people and businesses out at a faster rate. That has been the past 40 years in upstate New York, that transition. And we started a different story a few years ago. We understood the plight of upstate New York and first of all said upstate New York matters. For too many years down, the government in Albany focused too much on New York City. I can say that as a person from New York City. Too much of the attention was on downstate and not enough attention was on upstate. I said that right to the legislature the day I was elected. It was the first thing they didn't like me to say. We then started to focus on upstate New York, and then we had a new approach. We said, look, Albany's not going to tell you how to develop the economy in your region. You determine how to develop the economy in your region, build on your strengths, you come up with a plan, but we will be there as a full partner. And we will invest in you to make that transition to the new economy. Because it doesn't just happen. You need an investment banker. You need a partner. You need someone to say, okay, we're going from manufacturing to high tech. We will help you finance it because we believe in you. And that's been the New York State government. We now have a lot of different acronyms to explain that, the REDC, the URI. But what it means is we will support your economic transformation in the Southern Tier with hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. Why? Because if it's good for the Southern Tier, it's good for upstate, it's good for the whole state. It is what the state government is supposed to be doing. The state government was short-sighted when they overlooked upstate for downstate, because this is one state. It's one state morally, ethically, and it's one state financially. It's one set of books. If upstate New York doesn't do well, downstate New York pays the cost, right? So on every level, it made sense that the state government should be a full financial partner. And the REDC has done great, great work in coming up with a plan. And that's the Southern Tier Soaring slogan. And you see the plan coming together. You see it in Elmira with the airport. You see Dick's Sporting Goods. You see signs of progress everywhere. And today sees an important element of the plan actually coming to fruition. And the vision was, let's build the innovation economy around healthcare and healthcare innovation, and let's create a corridor of innovation that puts pieces together and puts the hospital together with a new pharmacy school, and that was the first phase. And to do the topping off of the pharmacy building, which was at one time just a dream in Albany. It had a very high price tag in Albany, so it was really a dream because it seemed like it was impossible. But there was a gentleman who is not with us today who really worked very, very hard to make that dream come true, Senator Tom Libous, and he is smiling today down on us because he came up with the idea for the pharmacy school. And it's very tough to get that kind of resources because we're very fiscally responsible now in Albany. But his point was right. He said, look, the Southern Tier has been overlooked. You say the upstate has been overlooked. The Southern Tier has been overlooked within the upstate. And it's been all the thruway corridor. And it's been not enough focus on the Southern Tier. And he made an argument like very few people could make an argument, Tom Libous. And he convinced the legislature, and we got it done. And that's the pharmacy building that's now coming to fruition. And we're now announcing the next phase of the development to continue to build on the innovation economy in healthcare and life sciences. And that is a $100 million expansion of the nursing school, which is going to move right across the street into the old Endicott Johnson. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Please. You didn't even let me finish. Just a lot of excited nurses in this room. I thought a lot of people were wearing green. I just thought it was an Irish holiday. But the nursing school, the Decker Nursing School, will move into the Endicott Johnson building that formerly made the shoeboxes. And it will be retrofitted for a $100 million nursing school, and the state will participate through URI funding. So you now have the hospital, the pharmacy school, the nursing school. Between the pharmacy school and the nursing school, you'll have about 1,000 students coming, learning in the schools, practicing in the hospital, and that's the synergy that we're looking for. Putting those pieces together to start an economy, to drive an economy that is then synergistic, right? Government doesn't create an economy. private sector companies create an economy, but we can incentivize it, and we can initiate it, and we can push the stone off the top of the hill and then let it pick up momentum as it's coming down the hill. And that's exactly what this is. And talk about a perfect metaphor of from yesterday to tomorrow. The Endicott Johnson shoe factory, which was so much of the economy and such a classic manufacturing industry that carried the region for so long, the nation, the state, the southern tier goes through a crisis when Endicott Johnson closes. What's next? What's next? What's next? And for a lot of years, we don't know. And now the Endicott Johnson building itself reopens as a nursing school, teaching a new generation with the energy and the synergy of the pharmacy school and the health and the hospital. That's the future. So I want to congratulate all involved. We are just an investment partner, but a willing and loving investment partner. But really, this has been the vision of all the local business community, Harvey Stanger, Tom Tranter, the Regional Economic Development Council. They've done an extraordinary job. Your legislators have fought for you tooth and nail to get this kind of funding done. You deserve it. I support it. I believe in it. And let's give the absent gentleman who first started the push, Senator Tom Libous, a round of applause. Thank you very much.